What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Shorty Show, where it gets as random as Jake Paul becoming a famous boxer and beating every one of your favorite MMA fighters. Our co-host, Justin Hong, and special guest, the guy who likes to punch me a lot, both mentally, physically, everything, Alex Perez, UFC Flyweight Contender. How are you?
Good, man. What's up? It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been like a couple hours and, hobbling inside the UFC PI, doing recovery. I just want to say I'm your biggest cheerleader.
Oh, you are. Every day you come in there, you give me inspiration, motivation. And I see you on the treadmills. I got to catch his ass.
I'm on the treadmill while he's like hobbling with his crutches or trying to walk, and I'm just like...
Yeah, man. Good support. I mean, he's only going at like speed 5 on the treadmill, so it's not that hard to catch up to him. You know what I mean?
Faster than you. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. So... With the injury, how's everything coming along with it? Because what's the recovery time with it?
So ACL, total blowout, and then I got meniscus repair. So they're saying by December I should be back fully training. Say if I really want to push it, I can have a fight at the end of February. But I'll probably wait until about March. Get my feet wet again, just to training and stuff. Just because the way I like to train is not like a lot of people. I like to train hard all the time, so I got to kind of build up to that and come on get in there. So I'm hoping by March. Mid-March, end of March, get back in there.
And what do you do, like, for fighters? We heard about Pantoja, for example, 11, 12 fights in the UFC, and then he was working Uber until he finally won the championship. What do you do in the meantime since you can't fight? Because I don't know if you do anything else on the side, because some fighters work, part-time.
So part-time, part comedian, making fun of fighters, at the
me.
PI, talking shit to them. I own an acai shop out in Orange County in the city of Orange, Acai Republic. There's brand right here, so you guys out there check that out. Also coach a lot. I help a lot of fighters. I wouldn't say I'm like a coach, but people hire me to like just help them out, kind of structure their camps and stuff, things like that. I don't do too much other than that. I mean, I've always been working my whole life. Up until probably I fought for the title. I was coaching at the gym. That's kind of when the pandemic happened, so we got kind of shut down. But I was teaching 5 classes a week, plus 3 private lessons a week, plus my training. So I've always had that mentality of working while fighting, just because eventually fighting is going to end. And I don't want to be that guy that stops working, just relies on fighting, and once I have to go to work, it's like, oh, shit, how do we do this again? Yeah. So I always kind of continue to work. And I also am very frugal with my money. They call me Mr. Krabs in my family because I save onto every cent. And so for me, like, those are kind of big things. The 2 big things I do to get money, while I'm not fighting. So that, and then like just being good with money, savings and stuff like that. So I'm very lucky and grateful that I had a 2-year break where I had injuries and stuff, getting sick and stuff like that, where I didn't have to get a real job just because I'm good with saving. I was always coaching and working. So, that's when that stuff comes in handy.
When you fought for the title, I was commentating for Titan FC the day before, so we got to stay an extra day. And every fight, they show highlights of the fighters. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then I'm like, oh, there goes me. All right, cool. And everyone's like looking at me like, I was like, hey, man, it's just part of the sport. Oh, UFC's going to replay it. It wasn't even 10 seconds ago. Fuck me. I'll be right back. And literally I come down and like, you're walking out and they're showing more highlights on the side. I'm like, oh, there goes me again. What the fuck? He hasn't knocked out anyone else? God damn it. And so I was like, oh. So fuck you. But what was it? I think your last fight. Yeah. When, sadly when you got injured, they're showing all the highlights. I'm like, they didn't show me because you knocked out Mateus Nicolau. And I was like, oh, they didn't show. Oh, no, there it goes. No, it's me again. Hi, Bob. It's like, doo. Mom, I'm famous. I'm on TV. Might not be the way you want, but at least I'm not getting locked up. So that's a good thing. But with coaching, how do you I see you cornering Cody Garbrandt and some of these other fighters. We're actually fighting again. Ori Osborne and I'm cornering Lazy Boy. They're fighting at the Spear September 14th. How'd you get to coaching higher level fighters? Because I know, at least for me, I like to help. If you want to help, want me to help you in your corner, cool, I got you. But how'd you get to that level of now you're cornering not just UFC fighters, but former champions as well?
So it just kind of started with wrestling. So a big thing for me was always giving back to the sport, which was wrestling. So in high school, I would coach the youth program, and it's kind of started there. And that's actually how I met one of my managers. I coached his son since he was 4. So just giving back to like the sport, like it was free, you know what I mean? But I always like to help out. I didn't want to be home, so I was basically waiting not to be home. Yeah. So I learned how to coach from there, and I started coaching wrestling, and then I started coaching MMA, like the way I grew up training before I moved to Team Oyama, I was training in with Team Ochoa, and it was like we're training in a garage, and we finally got a gym, but it's every day we're in there, we're rolling live, sparring, hitting pads, and I was like, hey, let's start drilling some wrestling, start coaching guys, start coaching guys at that level, kind of amateur level, start going from there. And then Coach Colin Oyama brought me in. I moved down there, and he's like, hey, do you want to take over the wrestling program? Start coaching there with him, and the guy started trusting me. The first person I cornered at Team Oyama was Carla Esparza. I was kind of running wrestling, and I started cornering her, and then kind of build on from there. I've cornered Joe Soto, Carla Esparza multiple times. I think for like I was coaching her for like the last 7 years. Cheeto Vera, Ricky Simone, Louis Smoka, Russell Doan. Like I've been in so many Cody Garbrandt, so many people's corners, and it kind of just built up from there. And then kind of the trust. And two, I'm still competing, so I can spar with them, I can wrestle with them, I can run practices, I can do a lot of things, and a lot of people trust me, right? Because with the guys, I like to help out. Even though I'm not a head coach, I'm like, text them, hey, how you feeling? How's training? Hey, did you do your recovery today? Did you schedule appointments? Hey, how's your diet going? I'm able to talk to, especially with the UFC athletes, I'm allowed to talk to like Charles, whoever they're working with there. I'm allowed to talk to like Gavin or whoever they're working there. Hey, this is our game plan. Hey, Cody's kind of feeling a little beat up. I don't know if it's from too much grind or maybe lifting heavy. Maybe we can take it back this week, or I can kind of communicate and talk to everybody. And I'm always in a group message. Hey, how you doing? How you feeling? So a lot of guys trust that and like that. Yeah. And that's just me like trying to, because I care for the people. Obviously, like me just trying to make sure they're doing good. I want to see them succeed. So I'm always on top of that. So that's kind of how I got into coaching like higher level guys, just them trusting me in the process. And they see me doing it too. They see me working right next to them as hard as they do, and they kind of like see that I'm putting in the work, so they kind of trust me from that.
Is it hard to tell some of the fighters like, hey, you have to take a day off, or you shouldn't do this, or in a sense tell them no when they really want to do something?
Yeah, all the time, because I'm my biggest enemy, because my training schedule is crazy, and even some of my coaches be like, bro, chill out. Yeah. My coaches are telling me that, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I won't show up to the gym, but I'll go run or do something. And then the next day, like, would you take the day off? Well, I kind of ran. So I just tell them, everybody's built different. Like, the way I've been training since I was 18 years old, and it's maybe hard for somebody else, but for me, it's easy because I've been doing it for so long. Where, like my friend Christian Aguilera, there's times where he would come into 11 o'clock practice at Team Oyama, and he would have 3 practices in before that. Then he'll go work, and then come back for a night practice. You know what I mean? So, but he's been doing that forever. So it's like hard to tell him to chill out. Like, he's been doing that forever. His body's used to it. Now, if I was to go do that, I would probably kill myself, right? Like, that's way too much for me. So I just tell him, listen to your body. If you don't feel good, you feel a little like tired or anything, maybe let's do something lighter. Maybe just take a day to recover. You know what I mean? Especially at the PI, we have all that use. We have the steam room, the sauna, we have the hot tub and cold plunger right there. Like, go do an hour of that and go relax. So it's kind of, that's how I kind of tell the fighters. Obviously, if they're just kind of like beat up, obviously calorie deficient, it's like, hey man, you got to push through this. Everybody's going through this right now. If they're tired and beat up, it's kind of more a different thing for me to say, like, hey, you need to chill out. But it kind of varies on the person.
Is it, so for example, like you and I both have torn our knees. We talked about it before. And for me, one of my problems was I wasn't stretching. I wasn't taking, that was my problem. Like, I wasn't taking care of my body to where I did something basic. I tried to get out of heel hook very easily, got out, no problem. But all you heard was, and I was like, oh shit. And then after the match, the adrenaline wore down. I was like, oh, I can't walk properly. And then little I know I tore my MCL. And the doctor was telling me, he's like, dude, you're not stretching. Your muscles are so tired that your ligaments were compensating or overcompensating more than they should have. Was that, in a sense, kind of the same for you for your knee injury? Because, again, in your fight, this guy was, leaning back and forth. So it was a very different thing to where me, again, having the injuries, was like, oh, my God, just fall, dude, just fall. Was that something that was inevitable for you, do you think, with your knee?
Yeah, so, I mean, I've been competing in wrestling since I was in 6th grade, 5th grade, started wrestling there, competing. I wrestled a little bit in junior college. So my knees are banged up just from the years of doing it. Basically, I had an MRI. Like, I always complain about my knees being banged up. So I got an MRI, and basically it was just like before that fight, I got a couple MRIs a couple years ago, and they're like, hey, your knees hanging on by a thread. So it's gonna happen eventually. Yeah. Whether it was in that fight or the next fight or where I was walking, just weird position kind of thing. But for me, like, I'm not flexible, really. I'm flexible in wrestling positions, or you don't stretch too much, you know? So big thing that helped me, I actually saved my legs, was actually all the strength and conditioning I do.
Yeah.
Made my legs stronger, all the muscle around it. But eventually it was gonna tear. You know, the reason I decided to get surgery was when we looked at the MRI and everything, there was no damage to my bones and no arthritis. So they're like, if you don't get surgery, that's gonna come quicker, and eventually you're gonna get a whole knee replacement.
Yeah.
And you know, he's like, it's not gonna be feel good. You know, you have a son. You know, that's a big thing that they told me. You have a son. He's very active. Eventually, you're not gonna be able to do that. You can get knee replacement. So I was like, man, might as well just get it. You know what I mean? Obviously, my son's 3. I want to be there. I want to wrestle with him, stuff like that. So I was like, hey, screw it. Just get the surgery. Let's get it over with. So that's kind of the choice I did. But yeah, it's kind of the same thing with you. You know what I mean? I really don't stretch too much.
Yeah.
So it was just gonna happen eventually.
Warm up, just all right, cool, let's go.
Pop your neck real quick.
Yeah, the first round is typically my warm up. I ain't gonna do shit. I'm gonna just roll around halfway through the round. I'm like, all right, cool. I can wake up and do my thing.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing, man.
What I guess I don't know. Everyone's very different. For me, when I was injured, multiple times for whatever reasons, I suffer from anxiety. I suffer from depression because it's like, dude, you can't do what you want to do. Or worse is worse, like you can't get up and move. You know, is that something that you possibly kind of go through where you're like, dude, I just want to do something, you know? Or is it just a struggle? It's just not do what you want to do every single day.
Yeah, it's a struggle. Mentally is a struggle, like day to day, just because I'm so used to doing stuff. I mean, I'm always on my feet. I'm always at the gym. They laugh at the PI because I'm always there because I'm either training, helping someone train. Sometimes I just go. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go just do recovery and end up working out and then go and do recovery. So I'm always doing something. And yeah, man, it's been super hard just not being able to do what I want to do. Being able to walk, for example, you know what I mean? It's kind of hard. I have to lay on my couch because, you know what? If I want to drink water, I have to climb up all my stairs, or you know, it's kind of one of those things that kind of like, oh man, it sucks. I'm not a TV person. I really don't like being on my phone too much. I catch myself not being on my phone, scrolling through shit. I'm like, fuck, dude, this is not what I'm used to doing, and it drives me crazy. You know, I haven't really hit the depression part. You know what I mean? I've been, you know, like kind of grateful enough that people let me in to help them out. Cody hits me up. A lot of guys check on me. All my friends, like, hey, how you doing? How's everything going? You know. And when I go to the PI, everybody kind of keeps my mind off, obviously, the injury. Like, you know, I'll bullshit with you. Everybody at the PI is nice. I talk to everybody. I'm able to get my mind off it. But there is times, I mean, people have told me in the past, guys that go through this injury, that like, you're going to get that part where it's going to be depressing, man. It's just kind of just battle through it, you know. And as crazy as it sounds, like, you have to talk to people. Like, I went through a stage where, like, I didn't know if I was going to fight again. I ended up getting sick. We didn't know what was going on. And they're like, hey, you might have to retire. And I was like, oh, shit, you know what I mean? And the biggest thing that helped me, and kind of like, I listened to a lot of Dominic Cruz, even though he kind of shit on me that whole last fight. Yeah. Commentary, you know? I listened to kind of a couple of his interviews when he won the title again. He's like, man, they're like, what's, you know, is it rewarding that knowing that you won this title or something like that? He's like, no, I was like, it was rewarding for me was basically saying that the title doesn't define him, you know? And I had to find that out. That fighting doesn't define me. Fighting is something I do and I love. It's my job, but it's not who I am as a person, you know what I mean? It's not everything's about me. It's about fighting. You know, I have a family, I have friends, you know, like they don't think of me as a fighter. Yeah. Everybody else might, but like not my friends, not my family. So I had to kind of get that mindset into there. So kind of listen to him and stuff like that. And it did help a lot because I was like, man, and kind of I'm doing that now, you know, like I'm not just a fighter. I'm helping people. I'm coaching people. I'm helping, you know, friends, families, things like that, talking to them. So kind of keeping my mind off it. But eventually, I think I will hit that road where it's kind of like a bumpy road where things aren't going to go as well. Recovery's going great right now. Things that won't go as well. And, you know what I mean? It's kind of day by day battle.
Yeah. And Justin, real quick, he had the audacity because he's like, I don't want to stay at home. He's like, wait, Shorty's cornering Lazy Boy and Ode's fighting Lazy Boy? Ode, I'll work in your corner. I got you for free. And he decided, let me sit next to Shorty every time we have lunch and look over at him every once in a while and just go.
That's the closest table to where the food's at, man.
Dude, we sit next to each other almost every day. It's actually hilarious.
Hey, we all sit, so the way we sit is like the tables. I get to the closest one right to the food. And Shorty and them, either I'm there first or they get there. And they're beating us down like, fuck it, we're going to sit right here. Yeah. Screw this. And they're like, why did you pick the smallest table? Or like, because it'd be a big group of us. Like, we'll put tables together. It'd be like, you know, even Shorty's came to sit with us. It'd be like me, Garbrandt, Lance Palmer, Che, Short. Like, it'd be a group of like 20 people. And then now, so we're kind of separated. It's like two little tables. And it's like 4-on-4. I'm like, man, what? Not really 4-on-4 because I can't do much.
Yeah, it's more of just like, hey man, how you doing today? But fuck you.
Yeah,
like,
basically it's like try to kill him with kindness. You know what I mean? It's cool because Lazy Boy and Ode, like I trained with Lazy Boy, not trained with him, but he helped Cody Garbrandt for one of his fights. So I got to know Lazy Boy. You know what I mean? Does it that, and I've known Ode for years. You know what I mean? So it's like they're super buff, super nice guys, and they're not letting affect it. That's the biggest thing about the PI. It's like everybody's friends until they're not, because eventually you're gonna have to fight each other.
For you, does it feel weird for like people you fought, whether it's me, people you've lost against, whoever it may be, that you run into them possibly all the time at the PI? Is it awkward? Is it weird? Is it any type of feeling? Or you're just like, dude, it's a
for
job.
me, it's all about competition, right? I like competing. Do I like? I can name every person I've lost to, like from the beginning. You know, do I hate those motherfuckers because I lost them? Yeah. Do I hate them because I hate them because I know them? No.
It's like, well, I'm glad you like me.
Yeah, I kind of like you.
Question mark.
I kind of like you. No, like I don't like losing, right? Like competitive wise, I hate them. Yeah, because they fucking beat me. Do I want to rematch with all those guys, even the guys that retired years ago? Hell yeah, I do. You know what I mean? But like, if they beat me, they beat me fair and square. You know what I mean? Like, even when Tassuro beat me, people were like, oh, he got lucky. I say, hey, man, a win's a win. Yeah. He did everything. He won. Like, it don't matter if it was a freak accident or not. He won. I don't take credit away from anybody. And when I run into those guys, I ran into him the next day, actually, at the Iridium gym. And I was cool. I was like, whatever, man. Do I want to punch him in the face? All right, well, I couldn't punch him in the face that time, but hit him with my crutch, hell yeah. I'm fucking, hit him with my crutch. Oops. Yeah, but you know what I mean? It's like, whatever. It's competition to me. Even like I was supposed to fight Master now, right before we're about to fight, we're saying like, oh yeah, here's my son, about taking pictures. I got no problem punching my friends in the face. I tell them all the time, like, if my mom says a contract, she's getting her ass whipped too.
That's it.
Sorry, mom.
Swing first, mama. You remember all those times you hit me when I was a kid? Payback's a bitch.
She still be smacking me up, man.
Remember that one time I wanted to go to Chuck E. Cheese? You didn't let me? Payback's a bitch.
Yeah, for me, it's all about competition, so I don't really get offended. You know, some people are crazy, right? You see people like try to fight each other. The PI don't like each other. I mean, I know people that have to hate their opponents. I'm the opposite, man. I care less. I've been doing this I've been fighting since 2010. Turned pro in 2011.
What was the last incident at the PI? It was Jocelyn Edwards and Perez.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just randomly scrapped in the cage. Yeah. Like, there's like, oh, hey, and Jocelyn's like, no, fuck that. And just ran up on her, and they just started fighting.
A lot of people don't understand, like, the game nowadays is a lot of social media. So when I started fighting, Gabriel goes, your social media sucks. I was like, yes, it does. So I got my boy Juan over here helping me out. So social media...
No offense, dude. Still kind of sucks.
hey, we're just started. We just started first week 1. He's not fired yet. But
still, dude. If you want to get hired by a better team, Lazy Boy Promotions, start talking shit.
Get out of here. So when I started fighting in 2010, Facebook was barely popping, right? Facebook, there's no Instagram. It wasn't, and back then, I mean, fighting wasn't how it is now. There wasn't really a lot of trash talking, right? Like T. Ortiz was the first one to actually come out. Everybody says Chael Sonnen, but T. Ortiz was the first one to come out. Start trash talking, wearing the shirts about Dana White's that I think he wore one that Dana White's my bitch or something like that. During a press conference, he's the one that started talking shit. Then Chael Sonnen came and all this. Then social media got popping. So everybody starts talking shit on social media. But when we see these guys in person, they talk shit on social media and see each other in person. Hey, what's up, man? You know, I grew up in the Central Valley, close to Fresno. Like it's called Lemoore, small town. If you talk shit to someone, I'm going up to you and I'm gonna punch you in the fucking face. But face to face, ain't gonna be like I'm gonna talk shit to you on Facebook and then, I'll see you and then hit you. Like nah, like talk shit all you want online. If you respect me. If you disrespect me face to face, it's on. Yeah. If you talk shit online to me, I can care less. You know what I mean? I'm like, whatever, dude.
It's the whole mindset thing.
Yeah, I've seen people talk shit like online about me, and then when I see them, hey, what's up, Perez? Or like, oh, what's up, man? You know what I mean? Kind of thing. So it's kind of a game here and there. You know what I mean? I get it. You want to get paid more and stuff like that. I don't choose to do it because that's not the way I was raised and not the way I was brought up. You know, like for us, talking shit is talking shit. Yeah. I'm gonna talk shit to you. I'm gonna fucking deck you first. Usually, I'm gonna tell you fuck you, and then as soon as you say something back, I'm throwing the first punch, kind of thing. But it's gonna be face to face. It's not gonna be over a camera or like on Instagram or sending videos. Like that's not me. So it's weird.
The next fight at the UFC PI, Shorty Torres Alex Perez jumps the table, throws a crutch over.
No, you never know.
It's crazy. Actually, I had like again same way where I'm like, dude, I don't give a fuck. We're gonna fight. I'd rather get paid for this. My brother, on the other hand, is very hood. Like he's like Charlie Murphy, and I'm Eddie Murphy. Like he's the hood guy. I don't give a fuck. And I think it was my second to last fight in Titan FC. And I guess he got into a social media battle with my opponent. And so when I'm doing the face off, I'm facing off against him. My opponent's not even looking at me. He's like this, looking at my brother off the stage. And I'm like, what the fuck? And my brother's like, man, fuck that guy. Angel, fuck him up, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just kind of like, shut the fuck up, you know? To where even after the fight, they almost fought.
Yeah.
You know, and even though I won and all that stuff, like, they still almost fought. And it was a crazy thing where I'm like, dude, this is my battle. My last fight, I thought I won by decision. They give it to the other guy. It is what it is. And I'm like, ah, damn. And all you hear is like, I'm trying to do my post-fight interview in the cage, and you just hear my brother and the other camp talking shit to each other, but they almost got into another fight. I'm like, hold on real quick. And I had to stop the fight, you know? So some people take it seriously. Some people just go fucking crazy, you know? So it's a weird thing.
I'm pretty mellow. Like, I'm a shit talker. I'll talk shit all day and everything, like bullshit with my friends and stuff. But to get me to that level where I'm swinging on you, like you must have disrespected me or said something crazy, or I'm like, oh, there's an incident.
Just kick your kid.
Yeah, something like that. There's an incident in Phoenix. Carlo beat Rose, right? Obviously, not the most exciting fight. This guy, like, Carlo was just trying to get to a hotel. You know what I mean? People were talking shit. We're trying to get back to a hotel. There's a guy that came up to her, like, basically talking shit to her, like, basically called her a bitch, right? And I'm like, dude, you're a grown-ass man. This is a 150-pound woman. And then I'm like, hey, I can't shut the fuck up, dude. Let her go. Like, it is what it is. He called me a bitch, and I fucking grabbed him by the neck. And UFC security fucking came up to me, and I was squeezing. UFC security comes up, you know, and then I turn around, and I'm like, okay. And then my other boy, Matt Salinas, starts talking shit to another guy because they're fucking getting like, dude, like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Like, to get me to that point, you must have fucking really pissed me off because I'm pretty mellow, I'm pretty chill. I let a lot of shit slide. Even people try to fight me like, hey, bro, you want a beer? I'll buy you a beer, you know, kind of thing. I'm very chill, very mellow. So get me to that point takes a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely a process, especially if you see past opponents. It's like, all right, it's just me that's mad. You're not even mad, but, you know, it's like, all right, whatever, you know. But when it comes to like past opponents, for example, the next big fight that's happening is Muhammad Mokaev, Manel Cape. What's your? Because I've trained with both of them as well. Yeah. What's your insight on them? That's a super tough fight. Yeah, I think
it's a good fight, man. If Manel can stop the takedowns, I think he wins. I mean, but Manel does have a good ground game. Like people don't see it. Like I've seen Manel for a lot of years because he fought my friend Ian McCall. You know what I mean? And
Ian's tough, dude.
So I watched them fight, and I watched video on him. And yeah, you know what I mean? He has a very good ground game, underrated. Plays a little too much jiu-jitsu when he's on his back, but it's very good. Muhammad, he's good, man. He's good, tough. I mean, when I fought him, a lot of people don't know, but I came off the couch when he fought him because I was hurt for most of that camp. I mean, Juan was with me. I trained for like 2.5 weeks for that fight. I popped my ribs out at the beginning of the camp, and I was sitting on my couch for about 6 weeks, 6.5 weeks, and literally Juan and these guys would have to help me get up, out, like grab my bags and stuff for a long time, and I was literally hitting pads where my hands are right here, and I'm like punching like this just because I couldn't do anything. And I was just had to diet down. Eventually I was able to just do things, but you know what I mean. If he can't get the striking going to set up his shots, it's gonna be a long night for him because even against me, like he was shooting for so far out, and I was able to stuff him, stuff like that. He doesn't have the best control either, right? Like he took me down. I wasn't able to control.
Young and rowdy. Yeah,
he's trying to he tries to speed the position instead of position, wait, punch. Oh, something opens up and go to it. He's trying to rush the position where, like, he leaves a lot of openings for a lot of stand up. So I mean, depends how good shit Manel is. If he can get taken down, can he get back up? You know. So I think it's a pretty good fight, man. 50-50. I think Manel stays on his feet. He has a better chance of winning, obviously. But I think Muhammad's gonna obviously shoot. He's gonna be in great shape to shoot 100 times if he has to.
It's to me because I've sparred with both, and I've trained with both. Muhammad Mokaev's like a little brother, and Manel, I trained with him literally right before he left. He hits hard naturally. Like he's not even trying to hit you. It's like, oh, you motherfucker, you want to go? Let's go. But he's really quick. He's a typical slick type of fighter. But with the wrestling, he has really good takedown defense for the most part because he gets so low. But once he gets taken down, depending on his gas tank, he cuts a lot of weight. And he's cutting weight usually. He's missed weight before, I believe. Yeah. He's cutting weight 2-3 weeks before the fight for the most part. And trying to, pick his rounds properly, the smart rounds. But Muhammad Mokaev, younger, I think he's faster when it comes to the wrestling, stuff like that. But that's also the part where he's wild and random. You never know what's going to happen to where, like you're saying, dude, he leaves himself open all the time, whether for the guy to get up or even just to take a strike from Manel. And Manel's super quick. So I think the earlier the fight, Manel has the advantage. I think once the halfway point passes, Mokaev for sure has it more in the third. But it's a very, very close fight.
Come down to the second round.
But that's, I think, to me, for the flyweight division, at least excitement-wise, I think that's a great fight to make because you have two guys that I think are there ready for the title. Then you have Amir Abbas. You have other guys ready there, but now you have the guy who fought you, which I think they're just trying to do a fast track. It is what it is, but they're trying to expand the division a little bit more. I don't know if that's the right fight for Pantoja to have immediately, or at least for that guy, the Japanese fighter, to have immediately. But I think Manel and Molkaev, whoever wins that, automatically should get a title fight. But Pantoja is just there, waiting.
Yeah, he's just waiting. I mean, division. I tell people all the time, like I fought Davison, I fought Benavidez, I fought Pantoja, Kaev, Tatsuro. I fought some of the best guys in the division. Think of that, or with our division, man. It's whoever's on that night. Anybody can be beat in the top 5, top 10. I think that's why our division is so hard to make fights sometimes because everybody I think the rating system screwed up the UFC because no one wants to lose their number. Of course, for me, I don't care. I'll fight anybody, right? I was gonna fight Tajir. He was ranked number 14 after I was ranked number 5. I fought Tarsuro, who's ranked number whatever he was. Yeah. To me, it don't matter. I gotta fight everybody to get to the title. So I think a lot of guys are protecting their numbers, so it's hard to make fights, right? Oh, number 1 to want to fight number 3. Well, no, he thinks he's the next guy in line, which probably should be, right?
But that's interesting though, because Steve was ranked 8th or 10th.
But Steve, the reason that worked out it also depends on how good you looked your last fight, right? We fought on the same night. I fought on the same night he did. He knocked out Chanel and Kaev beat me by decision. Like I said, I was coming off the couch off of a year and a half layoff, almost 2 year layoff. You know what I mean? So what you do in that moment you have, right? And 2, I think Pantoja's now I think he's 10-0 against the top 10 guys. He hasn't lost any. He's beat all of us, right? So it's kind of one of those things. Who do you give next? And that's, I guess, a good thing for him, but bad thing for the division because then you got guys fighting like Steve, right? He was fighting a guy that's ranked number 10 or whatever. So it skips everybody between. He's beat Royval twice in the last couple years. Moreno 4 times now. He's beat me. The only person he hasn't fought was Amir, I believe. Right? Amir got injured and was out for a while. So now I think maybe if he would have stayed active, didn't get hurt, he would probably got the title shot. But now that he got hurt, he's probably going to have to fight someone else, right? Yeah. To get back in that picture. He's been out for so long. Then you got all these other guys. He's beat all of us, you know what I mean? So it's kind of one of those things, our division's so weird because there's not a lot of us, but everybody there is so good that can fight for the title.
And it's kind of like the whole Demetrius Johnson thing, where he beat everyone to where Joseph Benavidez had to fight twice and then still lost, and the second one more dominantly. It's who do we put next? And Henry Cejudo was able to, in a sense, redeem the division, which I thought, because we fought the same day. Yeah. I thought DJ won, but that's just me. And there was no rematch. And then Cejudo was I'm going to bump up. And it's fuck. Who do we have? And luckily, Moreno and Figueiredo were able to do their thing and have this 4-fight trilogy, but too much of a good thing sometimes. The whole Marquez Pacquiao thing, it's these are great fights, but fuck, we'd like to see something a little different.
Yeah, for me, people always ask me during that time, what do you think about that? I was shit, it's better for me because it holds up the division. So if I can get some wins, dude, fucking puts me right back in that conversation. On the outside, for a consumer, it was kind of fuck again. But don't get me wrong, they swing, right? They're going out there putting on a show. But for me as an athlete in the division, it's perfect. Because then it slows down the division. Now these guys can't wait for it. If they're going to wait a while before these guys fight for titles, right? Because I think it was within a 3-year span, they were getting ready to fight each other that many times. So it's fuck, for 3 years, the division was on pause, basically. So you're going to wait 3 years to fight, or you're going to fight and defend your number. So it was kind of one of those things, during my time when that was going on, that was great for me because it held out the division. I had, no matter what, I was going to have to win some fights, fight eventually. For the guys that were at the top, 1, 2, and 3 guys, or 2, 3, and 4, whatever it was, fuck, well, I want the next shot. Well, kind of have to wait. You're going to wait 3 years or 2 years, whatever it is, or you're going to fight someone now and stay active. And most guys have to fight because, we get paid well, but it depends how good you do with your money. It's not, we make good money, but it depends how much how much you can keep, right?
Damn inflation. Dude, it sucks. I went to 7-Eleven, bought 3 things. It was $12 right now. I was last year it was maybe 5, so I bought a sandwich, some pork rinds, and a Monster. Dude, 2 Monsters now are $6. Yeah, it sucks.
That's crazy. We're on the topic of the flyweight division. You brought up Amir and Tatsuro. Do you guys think that's going to be a future matchup coming up?
Yeah, I mean,
inevitably
it's going to happen. It's just hard to say, like I said, people don't want to lose their number. You know what I mean? I personally think, and like people are gonna think I'm fucking hating, right? I don't think Torsuro's that good. You know what I mean? Like
I just want to say he is hating as usual. I know for a fact. You filmed this before, so I just want to say that. But no, go ahead, continue.
So I don't think he's as good as they say, right? He beat me. Yes, he beat me, but I felt I was doing very well in that fight. I don't think he was dominating any position, right? He took me down. I actually think he tore, like my knee popped when he first took me down. And I think gained up. And when I fell, it popped more, you know what I mean? So I don't think, I think he's good. He's a tough prospect, but I don't think he's as good as they're hyping him out to be. As Michael Bisping and Dominic Cruz were like, you know, over there fucking sucking on him, you know, the whole time. But for me, like I said, like it is what it is, you know. I mean, I think him and Amir would be a great fight. Two grapplers are gonna have to stand with each other, right? Amir's technically known as his best thing is technically known as a grappler. Like he's gotten better working with Dewey, and now he's at fight ready with Eddie Chaw. And I've known Eddie for years. Very good striking coach, you know what I mean? So it's gonna be a fight that's gonna happen. We're all gonna fight each other eventually, you know what I mean? Like if you look at the guys I fought, I mean, fuck, some of them are out of the UFC, some of them are still in there, and it's like, fuck, we pretty much fought everybody.
I just want to say, to be on the hater topic, Alex Perez really isn't that good. It took him 103 punches in 3 minutes to knock me out. Those are pillow hands, dude. Pillow hands.
I do have pillow hands, asshole.
It took him a while. I was like, he doesn't hit that hard. Why am I going down? This is weird. I felt like Mike Perry. I was like, I can walk forward with my hands down. I'm fine.
You know what's funny? I always tell people, it's like, I've only, because I don't even consider that a knockout. I was like, oh, you knocked out. I was like, nah, not really. It took me a lot of punches. The only person I've knocked out in 33 fights was Nicolau. Other than that, but that's why I tell people, like, I know I got pillow hands. I'm not scared to say it. My family, my sisters fucking talk shit to me all the time. Hey, you got pillow hands. I know you can't knock no one out. My son's mom, Christina, she'll talk shit. She's like, what are you going to do? Hit me? You ain't going to hurt nobody. You know? I'm like, come on now, girl. Come on. She's like, oh, you know, things like that. You ain't going to hurt nobody. You know, kind of thing like that. And like, I understand that. That's why I throw so much volume. But yeah, when I fought Shorty, he actually rocked me twice, right?
So real quick. You're gonna get to it because I was gonna transition to that. The very first strike he got me with, you know, we tapped gloves and I was like, oh, okay, cool, he's gonna swing, so I'm gonna put my hands up, and he did this and just threw a right hook to my body, and I remember in my head, I didn't expect it at all, and I remember getting hit, and I was like, you ain't shit. Oh god! Like I still remember that day to where every fighter I corner, I'm like, dude, right hand to the body. Just open up with the right hand to the body. They don't fucking expect it.
Oh, shit. Yeah, no. So it was funny because the whole week, I mean, I don't think I really seen Shorty that week during the fight week or anything, but someone sent me an interview that he's like, the only way he can win if he takes me out, holds me down. And to that point, that was always my game plan. Like, dude, because I've always been working on my striking and stuff, but no one has seen it to that point, right? No one has seen that I can actually strike. Usually I'm punching a little bit. Like when I fought Eric Shelton, I was on my feet a lot because he was like, for the most part, but that's the one guy I wanted to kill. Like I literally just threw a shitload of right hands. And I missed 90% of them, but I was trying to kill him, right? So before that, everybody thought my striking wasn't that great. You know what I mean? Like, he's not that good at striking. He only can take people down, stuff like that. And Shorty had said something in the interview like, anyway, either I'm going to finish him on the feet or he's going to take me down.
Fuck, I was my own demise.
And I was like, okay. I was like, shit, it's going to go down.
So I remember him telling me two things after the fight. One, he's like, dude, you rocked me. Why didn't you come forward? I was like, oh, man. It was just, I don't fucking know. But I remember hitting him. I was like, oh, he's rocked. Oh, he's punched me again. Like it was just one of those. Like I just blinked out. But after the fight, like a week later, we gave each other, you know, our jackets, the sweaters, and he goes, "Hey man, if you don't mind me asking, what was your game plan against me? You know, so I can better prepare for my next fights." And I was like, "Actually, what you did against me, you know, like that, I would just kind of rush you and do whatever." And I was like, so fuck it. What was your game plan against me? He goes, honestly, to take you down and, you know, try to submit you. I was like, hey, fucker, how about next time you try to follow your damn game plan? This fight could have lasted longer. Fucking jackass. So.
Oh, man. No, yeah, when we fought, you hit me once. Like I did the right hook to the body because I watched Canelo fight someone and he did it and I was like, fuck, I'm gonna try it. And I did it and it worked like once or twice.
No, it worked.
It worked. And one time you caught onto it and you clipped me. And you, if you will go back and watch it, I'm doing like the chicken legs and my legs go underneath me and I'm like, oh fuck. And you start coming forward. I just remember like carrying my corner. hey, like jab, jab, jab. And I was like jabbing because I felt like my eyes were closed.
Yeah.
Because it was all black. And I remember like jabbing, and I remember just fucking launching a big right hand. Boom. I was like, oh, fuck, okay, I hit him. And then I remember another time where you hit me, and I literally paused in front of you. Like, you hit me, my hands come down like this. And I was like, and you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I was like,
that was that one.
And I remember seeing like just black. My eyes were open, but it was just all black. Like, it was like a flash knockout. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, oh, this motherfucker can hit.
Did you think he was about to jump on you at that point?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to come in and kill me. I was like, oh, shit. Because, like, the only time I ever landed, like elbows and stuff was against him. I don't know why. Like,
I don't fucking move my head at all.
So, no, that is true. That is true. So, I was like, Stevie Wonder could have hit him. You know what I mean? But, like, I remember, like, so the way we train, like, at Team Oyama is, like, more off of instincts, right? Like, we don't really, like, have set combos, set things. Like, we train a lot off of instincts, right? He throws this, do this. So, a lot of the stuff, people are like, oh, like, do you press on the pads? Like, I don't even remember what the fuck I was doing. Like, I remember, like, after the fight, when we watched it, like, I remember, oh, yeah, fuck, I did elbow him. And I was like, they're like, why'd you do that? I was like, I can't fucking tell you. Yeah, you know what I mean? But it was crazy because he hit me with some shots, and I was like fucking wobbling. I was like, oh, shit, this guy's getting fucking hits hard. I was like, oh, yeah. And I was like, let me fake a takedown. I would fake takedowns on him. And I wouldn't take him down. I just wanted, like, fuck, I need him to get him off me. So I fake a takedown and, like, do something. And then he would start getting on me, fake another takedown and do something. I'll touch his legs, drive him back or something. But I wasn't really trying to take him down. And then one of my training partners goes, man, your wrestling is not that good. I'm like, bitch, I was really trying to take him down. Like, shit. Yeah, man. But that was a crazy fight. It was one of those ones. But yeah, it was his interview that kind of like, oh, you know what? This asshole saying I only can wrestle.
Basically, don't talk shit. You might be your own demise. So me and Mike Perry have something similar. Yeah. That's what would you feel about that fight yesterday? Did you get a chance to watch it?
I watched some of it, man. I mean, people hate on Jake Paul. I'm glad he's doing what he's doing. Man, he's making money. I mean, he's doing his thing. I feel like he's picking his opponents, obviously. You know what I mean? He's picking smaller guys. Like you say, he wants to fight Alex Pereira. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
Like, anybody in this game has a puncher's chance. Jake's a fucking big dude, you know what I mean? Like, if you look at him before, when he fought, like, Ben Askren to now, like, he's gotten a lot bigger, right? So he has punching power. So anybody can get hit. And Alex Pereira isn't the guy that moves his head, and his defense isn't the best. Fucking hands are down. Fuck, who knows? He can throw a fucking close eyes, throw a haymaker, land. But I don't really think. I still don't take him too serious. You know what I mean? Like people are like, oh, hey, no, like I don't hate on the guy. Fuck, make money, dude. He found a way to make money. Yeah, bringing the sport relevant because boxing, I feel like, is kind of dying out. Bringing the sport relevant. You know what I mean? Making these, I call them gimmick fights. Making these gimmick fights, I think it's a good thing for everybody. I'm glad Mike Perry got paid. I'm glad these guys are making money outside the UFC. So kind of like one of those things, hit or miss. But I mean, I don't hate the guy. I don't think he's that great of a boxer personally, you know what I mean? But hey, he's doing his thing. He's winning. Fuck it.
Would you do any of these gimmick fights if they asked you to fight an influencer or?
Hell yeah.
Just fuck it. Let me do it.
Yeah. Like for me, like I said, competition. If I wasn't doing MMA, I was gonna box because I actually grew up in Lemoore. We have really good boxing out there in the Central Valley. One of my old training partners that I used to train with was Jose Ramirez, WBC, WBO champ. And he was out there, so if it wasn't, I was gonna box, but I would love to. Like, I eventually want to do at least one boxing fight. Yeah. But I mean, fuck, I'm down. You know what I mean? Money talks.
Well, coincidentally, I'm already talking to Anthony Pettis about having another event in November, and I'm looking for an opponent.
Hey,
we can make it a handicap match.
Come on, get out of here.
The rematch?
Yeah,
Alex Perez was
we can do it. We can do it in a tire, so we don't have to move.
No. My whole thing is moving. People don't think like. I'm probably the worst Mexican on the planet. I can't dance for shit. I have the worst feet. But when I fight, I can actually hit pretty good angles and move my feet pretty well. But other than that, it's not it. That's not me. I like to come forward and hit angles, right? I don't care what side, left or right. But other than that, like, nah. I like to move. I ain't like this guy who fucking walks forward the whole time. I'm watching sparring. I was like, hey, Shorty, you should probably try to fucking block some of these. He's like, I am. I was like, yeah, with your face.
Yeah.
With your
and
face.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to remember we did this fucking interview, but I'm still here.
Yeah, not like, nah. If I had to fight Shorty again, I don't know. It would be, I mean,
I'm going to headbutt the fuck out of you.
I'm down. I think we did in our fight. I actually headbutted you.
Yeah. What an asshole. See, I just want to say we run it back.
I think right off the back, we went kind of crazy, and then we got into clinch, and I said, fuck it. Wow. Fucking went straight face forward.
You'll see. We see this. We're going to clip this and put it up. Everybody gets one.
Yeah, see.
It's Is there any other sport you would do? For example, like the slap contest. Would you do that?
Nah, I can't let. People ask me to do combat jiu-jitsu. I can't let another grown man slap me. Like for me, where I'm from, that's fucking disrespect. Yeah. So because he slap me, we're fucking fighting. Like there's no way I'm gonna let another grown man sit there, fucking get his hand ready, and do this close to your face. You know, like, I didn't slap the shit out of you. Hell no. Combat jiu-jitsu, same thing. Like, hey, I'll do jiu-jitsu competition, but combat jiu-jitsu, like, might as well just fucking punch a guy. I'll get disqualified from punch you because I ain't gonna let you slap me in the face. Like, bro, like, I don't give a fuck. Oh, it's a palm strike. Yeah, well, this is a fucking fist strike. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna sit there and let another grown man slap me. That's where I'm from. That's a no-no. You get
what
smacked
is it?
up.
Is it 3 times total? Or
3 times for a normal match,
Fuck
5 times for a
that.
championship bout.
Kudos to Paige Van Zandt for doing it, but fuck that.
Yeah, I can never do that. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's for like where I'm from. People like look at me like fuck. Yeah, I won't be allowed back in the Central Valley, man. They be like, damn, you just got slapped by another grown man and you didn't do nothing about it. Be one of those things, you know? Like, yeah, I'm not down for that.
So could you do bare-knuckle boxing?
I would be actually. I talked to my manager. So the guy that one of my managers I've known since I was 14 years old. I coached his son. His name's Jeremy Lucha, and then Jason House I've known since I was 18. So I've known them for years, right? And I was like, oh yeah, what about bare-knuckle? They looked at me like, if you have to do that, you're not doing it through us. We'll never let you do that shit. And I was like, yeah. I was like, for me, competition, I was like, I was there for the very first one they had in Wyoming when Tony Lopez fought. I was there. I actually cornered him, and I was like, that's the first time I was fucking in corner. Like, oh my god, like Tony was cut up everywhere. The guy had to use a whole thing of Vaseline. I was like, fuck, would I ever do this? But I mean, I'm like, fuck, I'm a competitor. So they asked me to like give me obviously a good opponent where like it's not someone that's been doing this for. It's another MMA fighter. Fuck, it's not like a pro boxer going into it. I'm like, another MMA fighter, first time doing it, fuck, I'm down. But if it's another, like, someone that's been doing this for a while, I was like, I'm not even thinking about this for a little bit. Because there is strategy to it. The way you punch, because the way they were doing the wraps before, it was only thumb, right? Wrist and thumb. Now they're letting you tape up to right about here.
You don't break
right?
any of the metacarpals.
So you don't break all this. So there is technique the way you punch, too. The way, like, defend, right? Like, for me, when I see it, I was telling Tony, like, hey, like, you see that punch coming, fucking put your head down, right? The hardest part of your head. Here.
It's a head bone. Or it's a forehead.
Break the hand.
It breaks the hand. Just ways you punch, right? You can't go.
That's how I broke my hand. Yeah.
Body shots, right? You can't really do body shots because, I mean, we don't got any padding with the MMA gloves. But
unless you're Alex Perez, yeah, pillow hands. But continue. Yeah, go ahead.
You know, when you go body shot, and MMA is even dangerous because you break the thumb. Imagine in bare-knuckle, there's really nothing there. You know, you're punching right there. Most of the time, most of us aren't punching with our knuckle. Most of us, when we go body shot, we hit with the knuckle part of your thumb. We're not doing with the fist. So that's a lot of broken hands, broken, fingers, stuff like that. So I don't know, man. It's a lot of technique behind this. It's not just like two guys who are at a bar fighting.
Just going.
Yeah.
Mike Perry's done pretty well, just kind of throwing. But, hey, whatever.
Yeah,
he's made a career out of it. And so you can't, it's like.
Well, he's also crazy.
I'm a positive hater. I'm like, dude, I'm fucking, like we talked about Brendan Schaub last week. And I'm just like, man, fuck that guy. But good for you. And my manager manages him. And he's like, you're trying to build off his career. I'm like, yeah, duh. Fuck that guy. But in a kind of a different side note, in the meantime, while you're recovering for the year, what's something that you're trying to prove on for when you finally do come back? Like for me was flexibility, stretching, actually taking care of my body and listening because I was doing too much, hurting myself more. And, I fucking had to walk here outside and I was just like, dude, you're in shape. I was like, yeah, it took me only 8 years of my professional career to be like, maybe I should just stay in shape instead of being a fat shit. So what's something that you're doing in the meantime or thinking right now that's hopefully going to better improve your fighting style?
For me, it's actually the kind of the same things. I get more flexible, working on mobility and stuff like that. Because I'm the stiffest person on the planet. You know what I mean? So for me, it's working on all those little things.
You're still. I thought you were just excited to see me. I was like, oh, he really does.
This is not. This is the massage parlor you went to the other day.
Dude, I just came from a massage parlor. That lady was amazing. She's 7 years old Thai lady, fucking strong as shit. Her grip, oh my god. But continue.
Just work on the same thing. Just be flexible, kind of things like that. And speaking about like being in shape, I've always been in shape to fight, right? Like I've taken short notice fights and stuff like that all the time. But like the biggest thing I've worked on the last probably like 2 years was like eating cleaner, right? Like diet and stuff. Being able to eat more but healthy, things like that. Obviously enjoy myself. Hey, I'm going out. We're gonna go eat something. Like what I mean? Like we're gonna have a cheat meal or whatever. Yeah, go and do that. Enjoy myself where my family's barbecuing. Like I can eat, but also like knowing like hey, okay. Tomorrow I gotta get back on it. So just the diet and just the flexibility, the mobility, stuff like that. Obviously, been doing this for a long time, so just trying to work on. You know what I mean? I'm 32. By the time I fight, I'll probably be 33 years old. You know, I want to stay in the sport as long as I can. So, another 10 years would be amazing. But realistically, another 5 to 6 years.
Andre Arlovski, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, another 5. I know 5 years. You know, it'll be cool to be in there. But that starts with everything else outside the cage. The fighting part's easy. The weight cuts, the weight cut's always the hardest. Probably, the training's hard. But the fight's always easy. Like, win or lose, it's probably the easiest thing.
Yeah.
It's everything else before that. Taking care of your body, doing all that stuff is probably the hardest part for a lot of guys, especially young, being like, oh, shit, being 23. The way I used to warm up was 23, just pop my knuckles, be ready, shadow box for about 2-3 minutes and get going to hard rounds. That shit don't work no more.
Those you hate that? They're like the people who are our age back in the day were those 18, 23-year-olds, and they're like, you don't stress? You're like, no, dude, I'm fine. They're like, watching you get to our age, and you're like, fuck, they were right. Oh, no, my back hurts. Shit.
Oh, man. Yeah, there's times where I'm, like, laying there, like, what's wrong? I'm like, I'm just fucking, like, you're tired? Like, no, but my back fucking hurts, man.
Yeah.
My back every day hurts. My knees hurt fucking all the time from fucking wrestling so much. My shoulders be, like, after a hard day of lifting, my shoulders be killing me. Like, God, man, when I was younger, it was like, oh, fuck. Yeah, I'm a little sore, but I can go out there and do 3 or 4 more practices, no problem. Now it's like, okay, I got to take some time, actually.
So what's, I guess, hypothetically later on, what's possibly your plan after your career's over? Like, when you finally call it quits, what do you want to do? Do you want to coach? Do you want to own your own gym? Do you want to do some other career stuff?
Honestly, right now, like I said, I'm very, like, good with money. So for me, right now, I'm learning how to invest, right? I have, like, my manager, Jason House, has helped me a lot. Like, I got a financial advisor. I'm looking at properties, like, I take a good pride in this. I'm the only debt I have to my name right now is my house. My cars are paid off. My solar's paid off. I mean, I have no, like, major debt. Obviously, I didn't go to school, so,
Oh, that's why.
So I don't got no school debt, But, like, all my debt's paid off. I have 0 debt to my name. So, you know what I mean? So, for me, it's about investing my money. I want to get into real estate. I own the acai shop. Do I want to own more eventually? You know what I mean? Take it little by little. I got one. This will be the 3rd year coming up. Hopefully by year 4 I can come up, get another one, bring one to Vegas, things like that. Coaching-wise, I've been offered a lot. Like, hey, man, you thinking about opening up a gym? It would have to be the right location because Vegas is it's a very weird town to train in, right? You got the UFC PI, you got Extreme, you got Syndicate, and you have all these other mom-pop shop gyms with great training that no one knows about. Right? And then everybody trains together here and then go there. It's like you don't have a team. I'm a team-oriented person. So if you're training with me, you're going to train with me kind of thing. And 2...
So anyone trying to be in a relationship with him, you can't have any guy friends. You can't go out. You have to let them know where you're going. So it's all the same thing. It all kind of goes.
It's all same, but different.
Yeah.
And then coaching-wise, coaching the athletes, man. Athletes now are so entitled. I hear people fighting for, like, LFA and Fury and a lot of these other companies, right? Man, I'm going to get paid 1-1. I'm like, what, how many fights are you in? They're like, oh, it's my 2nd pro fight. That's low pay. I'm like, motherfucker, I fought for $300. The first fight I ever fought at Taji Palace, I was getting paid $500. The guaranteed money I used for medicals. Medicals, you had to go to LA. So I had to pay for gas going up there. That's another, like, $100, right? Plus the food, because someone had to drive me up there because I'm getting my eyes dilated and all this. You know what I mean? I didn't know how any of this worked. Plus $800 for the medicals. So it was $500 plus another $300 plus another $200 because of food, gas, everything. By the time I come back, I pocketed maybe like $100. You know what I mean? Like, shit, I think my 3rd pro fight I got paid $300. Or I hear guys nowadays like, man, for 2nd fight only 1-1, that's bullshit. Or like this and that. A lot of athletes feel entitled. Like, bro, I can't do this because I'm an old school kind of coach. Like, if you ain't working hard or you're in practice, I'll kick you the fuck out. Like, hey, bro, you don't want to be here, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you come late to my practices, like, hey, practice starts at 11, right? You come at 11:15, get the fuck out. Hey, I always give people leeway. Shit happens every once in a while, but it's every single day. Nah, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very old school. We're going to grind it out, right? I've learned, obviously, from Coach Oyama, the grind from there. I've also learned from the new school, you got to have that balance, right? That mix of grinding, relaxation thing. But, man, a lot of athletes do not like to grind anymore. Everything's like, everything for me. I don't think you can do anything good in an hour. You need at least, I think, a solid practice about an hour and 30, hour and 40 minutes. I mean, everybody's like in and out in an hour. I'm like, dude, by the time you run, warm up, and you start going live and drilling, you're getting that's already 30 minutes, maybe 35 minutes. By the time you go live, you know, you kind of getting that first round in. You know, like you said, use that as a warm up, getting the first round in. Even because you're drilling, kind of slap ass. You're like, oh, you know, once you start going live, you get a little harder. By that time, you're gonna gain really like 20 minutes, a really good workout. So I think about hour 40 minutes, pretty good. But the athletes nowadays are not the same. It's not the same like growing up. Like my first year, I fought 7 times in 9 months, and I was fighting for $300, $400. I fucking win. That's with my win. Or you can sell tickets. Well, fuck, no one's gonna come out to Turlock, so I'd have to buy my own tickets. Be like, fuck, buy it, get that money back from there, and then get like $300. A fuck, okay, made 400, $455.
I remember I was like, oh, cool, I'm gonna Fight Express. Let me look at his record. And I think you were like 24-7 at the time or something like that. And I was just like, damn, dude, he's around my age. Like, you got so many fights. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I fought a lot, man. One thing my manager always told me at the beginning of my career is not about the money, it's about the win. The win's more important. And a lot of guys now especially with the Contender series. I mean, I love the Contender series. That's why I came up, you know. Everybody holds out for the Contender series. You don't want to fight tough guys. You know what I mean? Just go out there and fucking fight. Like, the way I did it, I wanted to fight everybody I could so they couldn't deny me. Whether, you know, like the thing I like about my management company, like Jeremy was he's very honest with me. Like I've said, I've known him for years. I was like, bro, how come in the UFC? He's like, well, you got to go finish the motherfuckers. Yeah. Basically, that's what he told me. Okay, cool. Start finishing guys. I wanted to fight the toughest guys that were next. Like, until they couldn't deny me. You know, I'm a guy in the Contender series, kind of going from there. And I think a lot of guys nowadays, it's not the same anymore. It's not about, like, being the best fighter anymore. It's about, like, social media, taking an easy route to UFC. Like, I see guys 6-7-0 going to UFC, lose twice, and you don't hear about them anymore. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things that I feel like when I was coming up, I fucking hated my management company. Like, what the fuck? You guys gave me to UFC? I'm like, you know, my record's this, and this. Looking back now, I'm super grateful that I had such a big record. I was 17-4 going into UFC. So, super grateful that I had all that experience. So, I learned how to deal with a lot of stuff, right? A lot of the bullshit, losing, you know, not being able to win around, things like that, coming back through adversity, where a lot of guys are 6-0, they're starching guys. Go to the UFC. You get that one motherfucker that didn't get the memo, like, you're that good, and like, here you go.
That was my guy.
What's the biggest thing you say is the
I was 8-0 by the time I fought him. But I was also fighting the toughest guys. You know, compared to, I have people that are friends of mine, they're like, oh, why am I not in the UFC? Dude, you're not fighting, or you're picking these fights, and no offense, the UFC knows this guy's 2-17, you know, it's just like,
that's kind of the Floyd Mayweather effect, right? Glorifying the record.
Yeah, people want to be undefeated, and sadly, in this sport, you do it long enough. Again, look at Frankie Edgar, like, phenomenal athlete, still a great fighter and holding his own, but, you know, his chin's not as durable. You know, things are bound to happen. You do it long enough, you'll trip, you'll fall, you'll get knocked out.
I mean, there's only one guy that's fought at the highest level, and obviously that's Khabib, right? But at the same time, too, you look at his record, like, when, like, all Khabib's the GOAT at 155s. I mean, I think Charles Oliveira's fucking went through murderer's row, you know? They lose, coming up. Yeah, he's not undefeated, but, I mean, he fought way more. I feel like he fought tougher competition, you know what I mean? Like, people are going to, Khabib's the GOAT. Like, people are going to hate me for saying that, but realistically, I think Charles is the guy that set the standard, right? I mean, he went through a fucking tear.
Yeah, Max Holloway at 155.
Yeah, BJ Penn's right there for me at lightweight.
Yeah.
And
BJ Penn.
He's almost got a 500 record, right?
Your bias doesn't count. Your Hawaiian doesn't.
You know, those guys are the best guys, but they fought everybody. I mean, BJ Penn fought Leon Machida. Oh, shit, you know what I mean? Like, those guys fought everybody. You know what I mean? I'm not saying Khabib didn't fight everybody, but I don't think he did enough to, like, get that number one spot, in my opinion, you know what I mean? Where, like, Demetrius ran through the division, he's the GOAT at 25. Like, there's no doubt. Like, he's the GOAT. He ran through everybody twice, ran out of people. He got bored, went to ONE FC, fucking dominating over there, you know?
You got to think about it. He was so good that the UFC wanted to cut the division. Because there was no one to beat him. Yeah. In a sense, that's how you could look at it.
There was, like, no point in having the division.
Yeah, there's, like,
anymore.
no point, because every guy we're bringing in, Kyoji Horiguchi, new guy, taps him out, you know. Ray Borg comes in, flying armbar, you know. It's like all these random things. So that's how good DJ was. I think the
person that got him in trouble the most was John Dodson. He had a close fight with him. And Tim Elliott, you know what I mean? Those are the only two guys I can see that really... And then obviously Henry Cejudo beat him, but, I mean... Close fight. Yeah. You know what I mean? If they would have gone third fight, who knows who would have won, you know what I mean? But it was, like, neck and neck in that one. But like I said, like... It's just one of those things, man. That generation of kids nowadays, it's not the same as growing up. Like, you're hungry, right? Like, I had a kid tell me something. I'm focusing on this fight, blah blah. Like, hey, asshole. Like, you know, most 90% of fighters have a job and they fucking train. You're just doing like, you're just training. Like, fuck, dude. Like, your parents must love you or something. Cause goddamn, dude. Like, my mom's like, hell no, dude. You gotta pay yourself. You know, like, and I'm glad for that, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you can't have it both ways. So I'm gonna train to fight. You know what I mean? Like, do this. Most people have to have a job. Most people do that. Most guys nowadays aren't about that grind. Can't work a full-time job and train. There's a lot of guys that can. I'm saying like a lot of guys that I've seen and talked to, like, oh, you know, like work a part-time job these many days, and then they miss training. They do this.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, you can't miss training because you're fucking tired. Miss training because you're hurt. Miss training because you're in fight camp. You're exhausted. You know what I mean? Like, even when you're tired, you still come in and just watch.
Yeah.
And most guys don't
Like
do
you
that
figure
nowadays.
something out.
Yeah, most guys don't do that nowadays.
I think if you're motivated enough, you'll do anything.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean,
like,
no, I was telling my nephew, he's fighting on the 559 fights out in Visalia. And I was like, bro, he sparred and stuff. And he's like, bro, it's like, you're coming, like, he's a great wrestler. One of the, like, fucking stud. Like, one coming out of high school, top recruit. Right now, I was telling him the other day, I was like, this kid named Mike Brown, he was training, and he's an amateur. And I'm like, hey, Mike, let me ask you a question. What's your training schedule like? And he's only an amateur, and he works a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells him, you know, whatever. He's like, hey, who tells you to go to those classes? He's like, looked around like it was a trick question. And I was like, nobody. I was like, see? He's like, why do I have to tell you, like, hey, like, you're coming to pro practice class, you're getting great work, but you're slowing other people down. Your ass should be at Syndicate, Extreme, Adrada Muay Thai. Find the basic classes to build your skills. The pro classes are for you to expand those skills. Pro practice isn't for you to really, like, learn the basics. You know, I had to explain to him, like, the difference between that and that, you know? And a lot of guys aren't willing to put, like, a lot of people just want to jump into pro scene, pro practice. You got to do the work. I mean, I would go to jiu-jitsu classes. I would go basic classes all the time. Even to this day, when I'm at Team Wingama, I'll go to basic kickboxing classes. And people look at me all weird. I'm like, what? Like, that's how you get better, working on basic things. Even though, like, yes, I might be able to beat most of these guys up, but like, you can learn something from these guys. You know what I mean? You can learn something from the coach that can translate over. A lot of guys don't do that nowadays.
well, simplicity is best.
Yeah.
You know, we all want to get to the black belt of whatever, you know, form we're trying to fight in. But it's the fact of social media too. You see all these crazy knockouts, you see this, see that. Like, I want to say I'm sparring with this person or that person. It's like, dude, you gotta work up to it. Because I remember John Dotson, coincidentally, before Jackson Wink split up their classes from AMI to pro, we'd all spar together, and so we just intertwined. And every once in a while, that AMI would spar with a pro, and John Dotson would just throw head kicks randomly, but, you know, blocking. And this kid just like ducked right into it and knocked him clean out. And we're like, all right, I think we should start splitting up these classes because these amateurs are getting wild, you know. And that was the bad thing, because a lot of people were getting hurt because they try to move up the levels too fast, calling out Dotson, Arlovsky, Overeem, John Jones sometimes, all that stuff, and it was crazy.
Like, for us at Team Oyama, we don't split up our amateurs and pros. But your practice, like you get kicked out of class when you're like, we're working on because it's very basic, right? Like, we're basic footwork, basic things. We're not learning too much stuff. But if you're slowing down the basic part, Oyama, like, hey, get the fuck out of here, dude. Go back to the basic classes, like basic. So we don't split, like, even sparring, we don't split up. Obviously, like, if the amateur starts going crazy, all right, we gotta put some sauce on it, you know what I mean? But most of the time, it's like, Juan's been out there, like, we spar hard. Most of the guys, you know what I mean? Everybody goes pretty chill, but once you start, like, you'll see guys in there fighting, you know, two amateur, or like a amateur guy have to put on, a pro guy have to put on an amateur guy, you know what I mean? But for us, like, we don't really split things up. But like I said, like, it all depends on the person and their style and the way they're going, right? Because some amateurs are crazy, man. Some amateurs be like push kicking someone in the face. I'm like, oh, my other gym, like, what other gym do you go to? Who lets you push kick someone in the fucking face? Like, god damn, dude. Like, wherever gym that, sheesh, I don't go there no more. You know, that's probably why you know they're not that good.
Was it like King's MMA? Everyone's known to be like getting knocked out
King's
over
MMA,
there?
I've heard some crazy stories. I've never been. I've never seen or anything. But
This is all we heard.
I've heard that if not,
and I heard it from Alex.
Hey, I heard this for Shorty.
So.
Yeah, like, no, I heard some wild stories, like back when Vandalay and Shogun were there, just knocking each other out and shit like that. And the next day, dude, like God,
let's do it
dang.
again.
Yeah, you know, that's crazy.
Because we don't remember it happened the first time.
Yeah, you know.
So, with that being said, because I've obviously had my fair share of mistakes as an amateur, wishing I could have done certain things. You know, last question before you go: what's something that if you could go back and tell yourself, you know, in the growing process of MMA, what's something you would have done more or focus on more?
For me, like, the advice I give everybody is, man, like, so my amateur career was pretty short. I did 3 fights. You know, I mean, fuck, that was 2010. You know what I mean? Back then, I could get away with it because still, like, like, if you're good at one thing, you can win a fight, right? It's not how it is now. Like, now I wouldn't be able to do that. But the biggest thing I tell people to focus on is if you're a striker, fight the wrestlers, an amateur, right? If you're, like, feeling sick or whatever, fight. You still gotta fight. If there's a difference between being injured and hurt. If you're hurt, you should fight. If you're injured, no, you should take it off. The reason why, people always think like, because people always think like, oh, you're just trying to help out the promoters. Like, no, because when money's on the line and you need that $1,000, that $2,000, and you're sick or you're hurt, right, or you don't feel good, or so whatever's going on, like, shit, that's gonna suck, right? Like, if you're a stand-up guy, fight a grappler. If you're a grappler, do some Muay Thai fights, do some boxing fights. Like, you should always try to do that because the record as an amateur doesn't transfer over. So, yeah, they're gonna have tape and stuff, but at the end of the day, who cares? Like, you're gonna get better. It's gonna be a better experience. A lot of guys nowadays want to protect their record. I don't want to fight this guy. He's a wrestler. Who cares? If you get held down for 2 minutes, man, there's something wrong. You shouldn't be able to get held down for 5 minutes either. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be able to get held down for that long. If you're getting held down, like, you got to work on a lot of stuff. But the only way you learn about that is by doing it inside the cage. You can do it at practice. Practice, everybody say, oh, I get up at practice every time. I was like, yeah, but you also know your training partners. I used to have some of my training partners back in the day be like, well, I do good against you. I was like, yeah, asshole. You know my weaknesses. We train together all the fucking time. You know what I mean? Like, in a real fight, it's way different. We don't know each other. We don't know what they're good at, what they're not good at. We can see on tape what they like to do, but shit, that's not 100% for sure. So, biggest advice I can give you is fight sick, hurt, fight the opposite. Like, if you're a grappler, fight a striker. If you're a striker, fight a grappler. Just get used to doing that stuff, because when money's online, it's gonna be very, very important, right? You need that extra $1,000. Well, shit, that's your chance to prove it. You're gonna pull out all the money you put into camp, stuff like that, diet. It all adds up. It's all it costs. So you're gonna have to fight. I've been there before where I gotta fight because I gotta make some money. I gotta pay my rent this month, like, kind of thing. And I was grateful enough that I was able to win those fights. But if I can go back, just probably would have took a couple more amateur fights. Like, hopefully I'm knock on wood. I hope I'm sick. But if I was sick, still fight, do these things, because when it comes to pro and money's online, you're gonna have to do it eventually, and you don't want that to be your first time doing it.
With that being said, how can people follow you? Social media, since you're finally trying to grow it. How many years you been in the UFC?
Shit, I don't know. 2015.
Yeah, so more like 9. All right.
Yeah.
Because we got this man trying to actually grow his and you're a week in, you haven't gained 1,000 followers yet. Come on, dude. Fuck.
Well, he was saving all the good photos for later.
Yeah. Tag me, please. So how can people follow you on Instagram?
Social media, all my stuff is Alex Perez MMA. Keep it simple. Any questions you guys have about anything, hit me up. I'm pretty good at responding. If you want to talk shit to me, perfect. I'll talk shit back. You know what I mean?
He does. He does a pretty good job.
So, yeah, just follow me if you guys have any questions, anything like that. Like, appreciate the support, the hate, whatever it is. If you guys
got you with the hate.
Yeah, this guy's a hater. My number one hater. But, yeah, just hit me up. You know what I mean? And I hope to see you guys around.
Oh, I appreciate it, guys. Alex Perez, Justin Hong. This is the Shorty Show, episode 1. Done.